So one hair tool that is completely misunderstood is the blow dryer. Is it good for your hair? Is it bad for your hair? Should you air dry? Should you blow dry? What is the deal with heat and hair? The blow dryer is like any tool. There's a right and a wrong way to use it. If you use it correctly, you can get excellent results. But if you use it incorrectly, you can cause heat damage. So this video is going to be a complete guide on how to use a blow dryer correctly so you can avoid any sort of damage. Now, this video is not gonna cover all of the different techniques to achieve different looks. For example, there's techniques to using a blow dryer to create insane volume. There's techniques to add waves. There's blowouts. I have made other blow dryer tutorials on my channel, both for adding waves and for adding volume in separate videos. I can link to them in the description if you're interested in those sort of techniques. But for the everyday guy who just wants to dry his hair really fast and get his day going without damaging his hair, this video will cover the simple steps you should take when using a blow dryer to avoid heat damage and dry your hair as fast as possible. Step one, the first thing you should do is pick the right blow dryer. Choosing the right tool is vital for not damaging your hair. There are incredibly cheap blow dryers out there, but you do run the risk of overheating, uneven heat distribution, inconsistent results when you use it over and over again. And for a long time, it seemed like there have only been two options for blow dryers. There's super cheap ones that could do more harm than good, or there's salon quality ones that are insanely expensive. For example, I used to be obsessed with the Dyson Supersonic, but that thing pushes $400, I think, or more, and not everybody needs something that powerful or that expensive. But the blow dryer that I use and highly recommend is the Laifen Swift, today's video sponsor. Laifen designed this model to perform on par with the Dyson Supersonic for a fraction of the price. It does run around $159. Now, if you've seen me talk about Laifen in the past, maybe you haven't bought one because, hey, you don't want to shell out over $100 on a blow dryer, then you're gonna be really excited to discover they just launched the Laifen SE Lite. This model comes in at $80. If you use the link in the description, you can also get an additional discount. And they've created an amazing blow dryer for under $100. For example, some things I love about the SE Lite is that the performance feels just as good as their more expensive model, the Swift. It has a 100,000 RPM brushless motor to deliver wind speeds of 19 meters per second, which that translates to about 45 miles per hour of airflow. This is incredibly fast drying time. There's also a temperature control chip that measures heat output 50 times per second to protect against overheating, and it shoots out 150 million negative ions to help neutralize that static charge generated from blow drying your hair and helping get rid of the frizz. So the Laifen Swift model has a little bit more impressive of specs, but honestly, when you put it to practice, I hardly notice a difference in my hair. Definitely not double the price worth of a difference. So if you've been on the fence about getting a Laifen, check out the Laifen SE Lite as an affordable alternative. I'll link to it in the description. So after you have your blow dryer, you're going to want to pick up some heat protectant. There are tons of options out there, and I prefer not to overthink it here. You just want something to have a shield between your cuticle and the heat that you're applying to it. You can find cheap ones on Amazon, $7 to $8. The next step here is to actually blow dry your hair. Now, how should you do that? A study has told us how. I've referenced this study several times in past videos, but in 2011, in the Annals of Dermatology journal, measured damage in hair from both air drying and using a blow dryer at different distances away from the hair. Basically, the results of this study concluded that a distance of 15 centimeters away, or roughly 6 inches on low heat, moving around constantly, caused the least amount of damage of every single type of drying, including air drying. And they noticed that although blow drying resulted in some surface damage to the cuticle, air drying was the only drying type that found damage to the cell membrane complex. Now, this is the protein lipid layer found intertwined with your cuticle and your cortex. So the CMC functions as the glue that holds everything together in your hair. So if this gets damaged, it's not good. It helps with barrier protection, it helps with moisture retention, and it helps with structural and integrity of your hair. So this is much more important not to damage. And one thing this study never mentioned is if the CMC heals naturally afterwards. So I imagine it probably does, but it's another good reason not to soak your hair in the shower daily and let it air dry daily, because you don't want to compound that damage to the CMC. So, you know, a little spritz for if you need to style your hair, that's fine. But I'd advise against soaking your hair in the shower every single day and air drying it. Another thing this study never mentioned was any use of heat protectant at all. So I'm going to assume none was used because I imagine they would have added that if they wanted that control in there. So if that's the case, using a heat protectant would solve the surface damage issue from blow drying your hair, since that's a heat protectant's job, to be the shield between the cuticle and the heat, to prevent exactly what this study found that heat does to the surface of your hair. So the last step that I would add is after you blow dry your hair would be to add in some sort of leave-in conditioner. This will add moisture back into your hair that might have been lost from blow drying. Now, I like to use a lightweight curl cream leave-in since my hair is kind of at that medium length now, and I kind of want to activate some curls and get my waves to show. My current go-to is the Leaf and Flower CBD curl cream. It leaves my hair feeling both moisturized and smooth, and I can add a couple of scrunches to get some wave activation. But any type of leave-in conditioner for your hair type will work well. So to recap the exact steps to safely blow drying your hair: use a blow dryer with a built-in heat protection technology like the Laifen Swift or the SE Lite. Step 2, use a heat protectant. Always, no matter what. Step 3, blow dry your hair on low to medium heat only. Step 4 is to keep it 15 centimeters or roughly 6 inches away and move it around constantly. And the last step would be to add in a leave-in afterwards to replenish any moisture lost. This is the best way to blow dry your hair to avoid heat damage. Leave a thumbs up if you found this video valuable, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.